What's up, everybody? I want a podcast now. I'm Alex. In this video, I want to talk about the PS5 and that they really need to do something about this smart delivery thing. Now, smart delivery, by the way, is a Microsoft thing, right? It's for the Xbox Series X. So I do want to open these. I always do open all these videos off by trying to make it very clear my stance on things, because I know we have people that come in that think I'm a Sony fanboy or think all I do is hate Sony. So I do want to make it clear going in. Firstly, I love Sony. I guess I am. I wouldn't call myself a fanboy. I respect Sony. I love Sony. I'm a primary PlayStation gamer, and I own all three of the company's consoles right now, and probably will going forward as well. But I primarily play PlayStation. That does not mean I'm not willing to criticize them, and that does not also mean that I'm not willing to say when other companies do good things. So just to kind of clear that out, if you guys are expecting me to only love Sony, you're not going to get that. If you're only here because you think that I absolutely hate Sony, I'm also not that either. Now, let's go over the smart delivery. So we talked about this a while ago. Smart delivery is the feature for Microsoft, for the Xbox Series X, that when you buy a game that has that equipped to it, so not every game needs to, but if you buy a game that has smart delivery, you get both versions for one price. You pay one price and you get the Xbox One version and you get the Series X version. Now, why? Well, it's because for the first little while, I'd say first couple years, and Microsoft has even said that regarding their own first-party games, that for the first 1 to 2 years, there will not be Series X exclusives. There will only be games that release on both. Now, I've said this time and time again. They said that specifically talking about their own games. Now, they also said in terms of smart delivery, every Xbox exclusive will have that feature. So any game that they are the makers of will have smart delivery, where if you buy it for Xbox One and you eventually get the Series X, you will be given that next-gen version completely for free, right? Because you already purchased it one time, okay? Now, all of that applies to their own games. But what I've said continuously is publishers are constantly coming out and saying, hey, we're not going to do next-gen games either. Not for a while. It's going to be quite a while until you're only seeing games exclusively on next-gen. The only company that's going to pick a couple is actually Sony. Sony is the only one that, rumor has it, inside Sony, they will pick a couple games, and I guess they have picked, right? It's something that's ongoing. Games that'll only be on the PlayStation 5. Okay, now that's setting the stage. Now for smart delivery, again, games that are not Microsoft owned, they don't have to do it. They can charge you twice if you want to get the Xbox One version and then the Series X version. You have to pay twice. There are some... Now, no game really has been announced, and I guess not that many games, have been announced for next gen yet, right? Assassin's Creed is a good example. Assassin's Creed was just announced, and what did they say? It's part of smart delivery. You buy it once, you get it on both consoles. Cyberpunk, one that seems to have a definite partnership with Microsoft, CD Projekt Red, they've said, now, they're doing the the Xbox exclusive skin thing for Cyberpunk, and they also said when smart delivery came out, they were the first game, the first studio that said Cyberpunk will be included. If you buy Cyberpunk once, you will get the next gen version for free. Now, again, we talked about this. I like that. I mean, that's a very smart idea. Looking at it from Sony, a lot, by the way. This was, I believe that happened like January or February. They announced the smart delivery, maybe even earlier. They announced the smart delivery. Now, I think it could have been right after the Game Awards. I said back then I think that's a really good idea, but we didn't know what we know now. And that is that the PS5, I believe, is in some trouble. They are very quiet on it. Now, yes, they are playing, in a way, still from a position of strength, right? They won this generation. They have a lot of people on their side. They have a lot of consumers on their side. They're able to take their time. When they announce something, it blows up the internet, right? All that kind of stuff. And those are all very fair things to give to Sony, right? They have earned a lot of those things, and it's just what has been going on. They will announce the PS5. They will talk about it. They will show next-gen games. I'm sure a lot of it is going to be amazing, and I absolutely cannot wait. Again, I'm a PlayStation guy. I want the PS5. I'm going to try and get it day one. But there you go. There's the word. Try. Because what's the biggest issue we've all heard about the PS5? It is the lack of consoles that are going to be available day one. Sony is not going to be able to ship as many PS5s as there were PS4s. And to be honest with you, there weren't enough PS4s. People had some real tough times getting a PS4 at launch, and PS5 is going to have even less out there than the PS4 did. We know they've been having a lot of trouble with manufacturing. It's led to increased prices, a possible increase of how much the system is going to cost. We know that there's not going to be as many units out there day one. That right there is their biggest problem. Now, could they have forecasted that years ago? Maybe, maybe not. I mean, sure, they could have maybe put more investing or figured out how the manufacturing would work and kind of forecast that maybe they're going to have some problems. They could have done something, but, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. They wouldn't know. However, this whole smart delivery thing is going to kill them if they don't have it, because here's the situation. Now, I'm just one person. It's just me, Alex, right? I also have this channel, which makes me different, but not like better than anybody in any way. But I have a YouTube channel, right, where I talk about all this kind of stuff. I want the PS5 day one. I expect to get the PS5 day one. I'm going to pre-order it the second. I'm going to try at least, right? The second it's available for pre-order, I'm going to pre-order it. I'll have the money available. Like, I'm ready to go. But if I don't get the PS5 day one, well, what does that mean? Well, let's go through some examples. So Assassin's Creed. People right now with Assassin's Creed, firstly, should feel very excited, right? I'm very excited. If you're an Xbox person, if you have a Microsoft console, you should feel pretty good, because you know why? If you can't get your hands on the Series X, or if you don't even plan on getting the Series X for years, you know exactly where you stand on getting Assassin's Creed. You'll buy it on Xbox One, assuming you have one, and then if and when you ever get Series X, you will be given the next-gen version for free, right? Now, that is for an example that is years away. Let's go to PlayStation for Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I want this game. I'm expecting myself to get this game day one, okay? You guys now know that about me. I'm going to get Assassin's Creed day one. Which system am I going to get it on? Because I could get it on PS4 because I have a PS4, but I just told you I'm getting a PS5. I want to get a PS5 day one, but there's not going to be enough of them. Not everybody that wants a PS5 that even has the money for it right now, not every one of those people are going to get it. So I can't pre-order. Now, I've always said that I'm not a huge fan of pre-orders, but sometimes I like to do it just to get out of the way, just to know like I'm getting the game. A lot of people don't pre-order. I get that. Also, though, a lot of people do, and gaming developers and gaming publishers look at pre-orders heavily. It's one of the main things they look at. So pre-orders, while, are becoming more of a negative thing to do from like us, from a publisher, from like a company point of view, they take pre-orders very seriously. I can't pre-order Assassin's Creed right now. In fact, I don't know when I'll be able to pre-order Assassin's Creed, because even though the PS5 may go on pre-order in a month from now, that's great, but what if I don't get it? What if I'm told I can't get it? Well, now I can't get Assassin's Creed on the PS5. Now I have to get it on the PS4. And you know what? If Sony doesn't have a smart delivery service, I would have to pay again for it for the PS5. Now, I know backwards compatible. You can do backwards compatible, but as we've said numerous times on the channel, it's not going to be the same. Now, again, do I think any of these games, by the way, any of these, Cyberpunk, Watch Dogs, Assassin's Creed, Batman, if any of these games, right? Any of the games that are cross-gen, honestly, within the first year, at least the first year, maybe even 2 years, is there going to be the biggest difference in the world from PS4 and Xbox One to PS5 and Series X? Probably not, because the games, for the most part, were made for last gen, and they're just kind of being up-resed for newer gen, right? They weren't built from the ground up on next gen, okay? You're not going to see those games that were done like that for a couple years. So I get it's not the biggest thing in the world. Like, I'm not crying myself to sleep. I'm not, like, staying up till, like, 5 a.m. thinking about this every night. But, honestly, I think it's an issue because I can't pre-order. I mean, in my opinion, I can't get Assassin's Creed yet until I know if I'm stuck with a PS4 or a PS5. And then when I do know that, if I can't get the PS5, well, now I have to face the maybe harsh truth that, okay, I have the PS4 version, and then say I get my PS5 like February 1st, right? Say that's when like the first real big, second wave of PlayStations come out. I get it February 1st. Well, do I get the next gen version of Assassin's Creed? I'd hope. Why would I buy the same game twice? And you can say, well, it's the next gen version, but I wanted the next gen version. I wanted it day one, but I couldn't get the console because because Sony messed up. Because Sony didn't make enough of them, or obviously because of the situation, they couldn't. But it's their fault. It's not my fault. I wanted the next-gen version. You could say maybe, well, buy the next-gen version, and then you just can't play it yet until, and you know what I mean? Like, I guess there's ways of saying it. You would sound pretty stupid if you did, but there are ways of saying it. And by the way, this is just Assassin's Creed. Jeff Keighley's Summer Game Fest, IGN's Summer of Gaming, GameSpot, all this stuff. There is going to be, by the way, over the next 2 months, there's probably going to be 50, 60, there's going to be so many new games announced for next gen. Again, games that have maybe even, we kind of know, Dying Light 2, Watch Dogs, Batman, all these games, they could very well all be cross-gen. The only games that are kind of safe from this are games September and earlier. So like Cyberpunk and Avengers, you know, even though Cyberpunk will have a next-gen version, it won't come till 2021. I obviously want to play Cyberpunk day one, so there's no point of getting a next-gen version of it, right? I'm set on Cyberpunk PS4. I'm set on Avengers PS4. I'm set on Ghost of Tsushima, Last of Us, Destroy All Humans, SpongeBob, A Battle for Bikini Bottom, all those. Those are fine. I'm set on those. But future games, any game October or later, sports games this year, Call of Duties and like future Battlefields and stuff like that. I mean, obviously there's not a Battlefield this year, but you get my point, right? All of these games, they all imagine what I just said for Assassin's Creed. Apply that to all of those games now. I don't know. Firstly, I don't know if I'll be able to afford all of these games in the first place, right? And how many people really will afford them all? But not just that, but none of people that are thinking the same way as me, we can't even assure ourselves we're getting them yet because we don't know which system we're doing it. And again, that's like part one of the problem. Part two of the problem is the just factual thing that it would suck if I bought a current gen version and then I couldn't get the next gen version for free because I already bought it once and they're not giving me that much of an increase for the next gen version, so why would I pay for it? You know what I mean? It really does. It becomes that kind of problem where it's like you should really give both versions for free. Microsoft was smart to include that. Now again, they kind of trapped developers because they said, well, we're going to do it for all of our games. It's up for the publisher to do it for theirs. So publishers have to either look good or bad. If a publisher comes out and says, we're not doing it, so you have to buy our game twice, they look bad. And Microsoft kind of put them in the situation where they do look bad. But ultimately, you know, it is what it is, and Microsoft also makes Sony look bad now because if Sony doesn't have something like that, then now any PlayStation game, you'd have to buy twice. Or, again, because of the situation with how PS5s are going to be delivered, we're all going to be forced in this situation where these things, that's the biggest thing, that's the big issue, the moral conundrum of not giving us the next-gen version for free. Because the PS5 is going to be in limited supply and going to be hard to get, we are all forced into that situation of facing what if we don't get the next gen version for free. It's tough. It's really, really tough. Sony is in a very tough spot. How can they make this better? Easy. Announce something like this. Say, I honestly do, this is something I do think of every night. When they announce the PS5, please tell us the next gen versions of the current gen version of the game. Please tell me somehow you've worked it out where they're free. Please, somehow, please tell me that happened. I really, really hope so. So, guys, let me know in the comments below. What do you think? Do you think this is a fair criticism? Do you think this is something that's fair, basically, to be worried about? Let me know. Make sure, as always, guys, you subscribe to our YouTube channel, Podcast Now. Hit the bell icon so you guys know when all these videos go up. And whenever we get these kind of breaking news, if this thing does eventually come out and Sony announces something, we'll absolutely cover it on the channel, okay? Thank you again for watching, guys, and I'll see you on the next video.